we are joined by Lalitha Brzee. Some of you know her as Donatella Ryback. She is a Pillai Center teacher and astrologer, and we're going to be talking about August power times.
I'd like to talk about the power times of August. It's a special month, as Gina Lakshmi already said. And there's so much happening, and I think we should start from the moon because it's a very special planet and we call it a planet and not a satellite, you know that. And the moon is so important because it's the mind. That's what Dr. Pillai has always taught. And when we follow the lunar phases of the moon, we have so much more choice, so much more power. The moon receives light from the sun. Most of you know that. We don't think about the moon the way we think in astrology. So as the moon rotates around the earth, the lunar phases change. So the amount of light received by the moon changes. And what happens is that when there's more light, there's more intelligence, and there's more, we have more control on our, on the creation we want. For example, when the moon is very quiet in the new moon, we are so subdued in the mind that sometimes all we need to do is just pray and meditate and pray to the ancestors, or at least pacify rather than praying. We don't really honor the ancestor the way we do in other cultures. In Vedic astrology, which is also the teaching of Dr. Pillai, we want to help the ancestors. We want to get their blessings after we help them evolve. So we don't just celebrate and honor the ancestors, but rather we help them so we can receive help. So that's when the moon is very quiet. And we change our mindset and we change our power of creation as the moon becomes brighter in the waxing. It's called waxing. So waxing and waning. There is a story that the moon was cursed to have these phases because the moon wanted to be in Rohini, which is a star, I think Aldebaran in astronomy. And when the moon is in Rohini, you have the best of both worlds. It's a great nakshatra for material and spiritual achievements. And the moon loves Rohini. So the moon was stuck in Rohini. He had 27 wives, still does, 27 stars, nakshatras, but Rohini was special. So maybe at some point in this creation of the earth plane, at least in this cycle, the moon was stuck in Rohini, but everybody said, no, God, the Brahma, I mean, whichever version of the divine you want to pray to, said, no, that doesn't work. So we're going to tell the moon, you have to move throughout the constellations. And as you move throughout the constellations, you're also rotating around the earth. So now you will be punished and you will have waxing and waning phases. All right, whichever story is true, whether it's the myth or the astronomical aspect, doesn't matter. So we do change with the lunar phases.
Brzee.